is the Administrative Adjudication of Road Traffic Offences Act, or AARTO, unconstitutional? That's what civil activist group, the Organisation Undoing Tax Abuse, wants the Constitutional Court to confirm. A High Court ruling in January declared AARTO unconstitutional, and Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula is opposing that matter and wants the ruling overturned. Now, if not, Mbalula wants 24 months to allow Parliament to change the law. Now, artist Stefanie Fix speaks to us now about this and joins us this morning. Stefanie, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. We understand that, of course, you'll be having your arguments heard in the Constitutional Court. I mean, what are your arguments, for context's sake, for those South Africans wanting to catch up with this? What is your stance on AARTO?
Well, the stance is that it's unconstitutional, so it doesn't conform to what our Constitution wants it to be. And in essence, there's a separation of powers between national government, provincial government, and municipal your local governments. And we are saying by taking AARTO, making national legislation, making a national body like the Appeals Tribunal, that interferes with, provincial government and local governments' sort of right to deal with municipal roads and traffic. And that is in a nutshell. We are also saying that if the court does not agree on that issue, we also have an issue with the way the acts, or especially the Amendment Act, intends to serve people with notices. We feel that the consequences of this act, if you do not get a notice, etc., is serious. And we need to look at how it is served.
With that being said, Stefanie, I understand that actually the AARTO law already applies in the cities of both Johannesburg and Tshwane, but not necessarily the rest of the country. But the Amendment Act was intended then to roll out to the rest of the country and over and above that at the demerit system.
Yes, so AARTO has been applicable in Tshwane and Joburg since 1998. It hasn't really been successful. And then the Amendment Act changed a few things, and that was supposed to be rolled out nationwide. And just as a side note, except for the fact that we believe this is unconstitutional, and that is the argument that we're going to have in court, we are also extremely concerned about the practicalities of AARTO. I mean, it's a very elaborate steps that motorists have to take. I wonder how many people, while we are talking, understands what AARTO is about. And what they wanted to do is to take sort of minor offences out of the court system, which in principle we do not have a problem with. And in principle, there's nothing wrong with the demerit system. It is how we apply it. And your administrative process should be perfect in order to give a service to motorists. But we have seen that there's, administratively, they are struggling in order to make this work. And the person that's going to bear the brunt of this is ultimately going to be the motorist.
Right. So should the Constitutional Court confirm invalidity, what's your ask of the court then as AARTO?
Well, to basically, then AARTO will not exist anymore. In other words, there will not be an AARTO Amendment Act. We believe that you cannot separate some of the sections in order to say that, okay, section 1 and 2 is constitutional, but 2 and 3 is, or 3 and 4 is unconstitutional. We say the whole act is unconstitutional, the parties differ there. I just want to mention the following. The AARTO is the administrative adjudication. AARTO's got nothing to do with the fact that we still have certain offences. So even if AARTO is off the table, it is still against the law to park in certain spots. It's still against the law to drive a certain speed, drunken driving, and all of that. That was never addressed by AARTO, by the way. And then your minor offences, the offences still exist. It is just the process to adjudicate them that has changed with AARTO. And we believe if AARTO is off the table, we just go back to the previous system, and it is not going to curb road deaths if AARTO continues.
So with that being said then, if the court then finds against Outas presentation. What then is your next step?
Well, then it is about trying to, then we will tackle the administrative process because we believe that they struggle. They really struggle to give the service to motorists. Motorists are facing, for example, the NATA system that is not updated. So this whole AARTO system is based on a system that is flawed. How many, duplicate cars are there? I mean, how many people have gone to get a renewal of their licenses, but they can't update their details, etc. So, the chances of you having an enforcement order, which is part of the AARTO system, but then you can't renew your license, or you then getting a demerit point against your name, is quite possible in a system where you may not even know that you have committed a crime, that there is a fine against your name because you've never received it.
Well, of course, that gives more clarity and context, and I appreciate you, of course, speaking to us after Stefanie Fick. Hopefully we'll do speak to you again after the Constitutional Court proceedings. We understand that begin today. Stefanie, thank you so much for your time this morning.